I'm Dan Plesac, Comcast Sportsnet baseball analyst, talking a little bit about pitching. And I think one of the things you often hear, sons and daughters and moms and dads, and anybody that wants to get involved about baseball, everybody wants to know, what's the most important pitch, what's the most important thing. And I think really pitching boils down to two basics. It's about deception and angles. And the first thing we'll talk about is deception. You'll see a lot of pitchers that have different types of motions. You'll see guys that are very smooth, guys that have a lot of leg swing, guys that turn their back to hitters. What you're trying to do when you're pitching is to create some type of deception. If you continually do the same thing where a hitter can get your timing, if you go through your delivery and you're very easily timed, or you go through the same motion, you'll often hear the phrase that a ball jumps on. The guy has a really live arm and the ball jumps on you. And I think one of the things with deception is a lot of your really good pitchers are really quiet. They're really smooth, and they come up and their delivery is nice and smooth. And when the ball comes out, their motion, their mechanics lulls a hitter to sleep. It's hard to get your timing as a hitter when a guy is really smooth, because he's just nice and slow and deliberate. And for the most part, velocity is created from arm speed, and the more relaxed and calm you can keep your body, the more you can generate arm speed. You could lift all the weights you want to lift. You can bench press 500 pounds, and it will not make any difference in your velocity. It's why you see a lot of really good, the power pitchers of the modern era. Your Roger Clemens is an exception, but a Randy Johnson, that are lean, long muscles, and the ball just whips out coming out of their hand. And so one of the things is deception. And I think the second part that is so important with pitching is angles. And I don't think anybody that I've seen in the last 25 years does a better job of this than Greg Maddux. Even though he's barely 6 feet tall, pitching is about angles. If I were to take a ball and throw it to you 90 miles an hour chest level, after one or two throws, you'd have a pretty good idea of where it was coming. All your eyes have to do is gauge how fast it's coming. But if you throw something at somebody pretty much chest level to chest level, you kind of have a pretty good idea where you would need to catch it. Now, on the flip side of that, if I were to throw this to you from up here and throw it down at your chest, not only do you have to gauge the velocity, you have to gauge as a hitter where you're going to try to make contact with the baseball. And no matter what anybody tells you, the toughest thing to do in sports is to hit a round ball with a round bat and hit it square. So to make it difficult for hitters, the higher that you can create an arm angle and throw on a downhill plane, the tougher it is for a hitter to gauge how far this ball is on a down plane, and then the velocity. So you have two things as a hitter that you have to contend with, not only the velocity, but the angle that the ball is coming to it. And so what you would try to do, whether you're 6 foot, you're 6'5", or you're 4'11", the taller that you can stay before you release the baseball and throw the ball with a higher angle, have the ball come out higher, and you're throwing it on a downhill plane, the tougher it is for hitters. So pitching basically boils down to two things. It's about deception, being smooth, having the ball come out easy, and it's about angles. So try to keep your arm up as high as you can and throw the ball on a downhill plane.
Yo, you doing it like this.